The early stages of the production of the famous computer animated film Toy Story were a complete nightmare. The production was in a short development hell until the infamous Black Friday incident. Disney harassed new animation studio Pixar constantly. They were worried to produce the film and they wanted results as quickly as possible. Disney had tried everything to eliminate Pixar's efforts to deviate from the Disney formula, at means at all times threatening to shut the production down. Disney sent notes of revisions that they would thought that would improve the film, but instead threw out the notes which all read, "Edge. The film needs more edge." The people working on the film at the time struggling so hard to maintain all of Disney's notes and demands. Once a week, they were required to fly across the country to Disney offices to present them with the progress. Every time they were met with the same response, "Edge. The film needs more edge." Pixar revised the film so it can meet the deadlines, what results in some rather interesting changes. In order to achieve the edge, the film has become a lot quite darker. Woody became wildly unlikable character, much more angry and far less comedic than the final film. Bo Peep's role in this story was far more prevalent, often flirtatious towards male characters, as in the first to accuse Woody of pushing Buzz out the window. Buzz Lightyear was referred to at this point in the production was Lunar Larry. He's highly reminiscent of the older superhero, taking a deeper voice, much more diluted and ignorant of his surroundings. The other toys were relatively unchanged, for minor enthusiastic differences. Pixar employees literally worked 24/7 non-stop. Director John Lasseter joked about the one occasion that he thought he had the best parking space at the office because his car hadn't moved for 3 days. Now, some of the writers on the storybook artists began to suffer from cryonic insomnia. A few writers reported seeing visions of Buzz and Woody taunting them with their lack of progress, chanting, "Edge, the film needs more edge." For many initials workers quit due to the stress that was putting on their personal lives, much to the stress of the remaining crew. By November of 1992, there were at least 2 of the 5 writers that left and only the 3 storyboard artists. The remaining storyboard artist was named Ralph Thompson. He joined Pixar team in the winter of 1987, working on short films such as Tin Toy and Knick Knack. At the same time, he did some storybooks for The Nightmare Before Christmas with a fellow artist, Joe Ranfit. Now, Joe came down with a serious illness that he hadn't worked on in a week. Ralph worked constantly in fear of an inevitable correction by Disney. More edge, with each presentation meant another row of sleepless nights, of rewriting and redrawing the same characters in the same bedroom over and over, and it was maddening. One morning, John Lasseter and Andrew Stanton and the other higher-ups at Pixar finally came to the office and told everyone what happened in their last meeting. Disney felt that things were not looking very good for the film and demanded that in less than a week, when they see the complete film of the story reels, storyboards with the audio, with the massive revisions. There was even a general groan, whining, and the crew went back to working. Now, Ralph worked harder than the others involved. Sometimes at 2 in the morning, one of the writers would walk into Ralph's office with a packet of newly written scenes, more to draw and more to add to the drawings, which meant to scratch voice work. When a film is in the writing storybook stages, the artist who will do temporary voices for the reels, he had Disney's vague instructions racing through his mind. More edge, edgier, more. We want results, people. Edgier. This means business. Faster. More edge. Move on already. He thought to himself exactly. The film needed more edge, and it needed to be more darker and more significant. It needed to be more adult humor in situations. It needed attitude. Of course, Ralph, you goddamn son of a gun. How could you not have seen it sooner? Edge is all the hundreds of hours went back forward to the desk, and you needed an edge. Why didn't you listen sooner? He gave the film an edge. The story reels were thrown over the main crew at the head offices of Disney. The date was November 27th, 1993, Black Friday, when the film was brought to Disney's screening room. The reel was about 48.5 minutes long. The movie started off with a Western-style shoot between Woody and Andy, resulting in Andy being shot down. It is revealed that it was just a game playing outside of Andy's mind. The film continued with a little problems for the first 20 minutes or so. Throughout several gags, it seemed off with the overall tone of the film. For example, Mr. Potato Head would pull out one of his eyes and kick them under Bo Peep's dress for a look-see, where there were several scenes of Woody yelling at the toys to stop caring about Buzz, aka Larry, to pay attention to him, culminating in the results of minor acts in violence. Now, the scenes then comes in where Andy takes one of the toys to Pizza Planet. Woody pushed Buzz out the window, and Woody offers to shake hands with Buzz, aka Larry, only to throw him out of the window. There is a stalk of smashing noise, and the other toys are shocked and antagonize Woody for what he has done. Woody shows some remorse and screams at Slinky to make the toys to stop harassing him. After much yelling, the toys grab Woody and toss him out the window as well, and he falls to the ground with a low thump. Cheering is also heard from the interior of the house. The quality on the storyboards become much more refined, almost like the chicken scratch. Woody gets up and sees Buzz, aka Larry. Buzz's body shattered on impact. His arms and legs were broken off, and only a few inches away, there was a large crack down in the middle of the chest, revealing a mess of buttons and wires inside. He gave off an electrical twitch and motion of his head. His eyes looked as if they were about to pop out of their plastic sockets. The twitching stops after a few moments as Woody looked in fear of what he has done to Buzz and runs off. There is a jump cut to the scene where the two get stuck in a claw machine. The storyboard art is back to the normal level of quality. The machine is filled with sunglasses wearing pizzas, and the opposite of the aliens have finished the movie. The Buzz is completely unharmed and even intact. The scene almost verbatim to the film, or the final film, where Sid the antagonist controls the claw machine, wearing a yellow t-shirt and smoking 3 cigarettes at once. The claw grabs Woody and Buzz, aka Larry, putting them in the clutches of Sid. There is another jump cut once again, returning to the chicken scratch style of artwork. The scene is more inside Sid's room, where Woody looks around the room in fear. He tiptoes around the room and collapses after seeing one of Sid's mutant toys. The reel then jumps out once again, unrelated test animation of the characters running. A few seconds of Buzz or Larry running in place, a few seconds of Woody running, and nearly a minute of the two running together. The footage appeared to be distorted and the Spanish text was present on screen. It looked like clay models that got life, no friends, life or sea. Now comes a lot of a shot of a completely naked Woody with an animatronic correct features standing in front of a black background. Now the trademark, the Pixar ball is rolling down in the distance. The animation was now traditionally animated style, typical 2D Disney film. Woody then stares directly into the camera while his flesh begins to rot away with the exception of his eyes, which remained intact. Woody then begins to moan in a low voice. What remains is his lips curl into a smile with bits of flesh peeling off. As this happens, he lifts up his decomposing arm manually and waving to the camera. His fingers dug into his eyes as dark blood oozes out from their sockets. And Woody begins to scream and growl. Don't you want it? Don't you want it? Don't you love it? He digs deeper and begins to rip the entire half of his head off. Woody then gives a sigh of relief and begins eating the flesh from the skull before tossing it aside. He writes the word edge on the screen with his rotting fingertips. The remaining 15 minutes of the reels were in pencil scribbles, accompanied by the shrill screams of a young woman. The word edge burned into the production screen. The screening ended and was complete silence. The chairman of Disney at the time, Jeffrey Katzenberg, walked out of their screening, quietly telling to his colleagues, notes, they were following all the notes we were giving them. Upon returning to the Pixar offices, the writer Pete Docter found the body of Ralph Thompson in an enormous pile of paper in his office. Further analysis, what cause of his death was a heart attack brought upon the lack of sleep and stress. The papers were all the storyboard animation cells that were finally coherent the scene of Woody, while the word Edge was scrawled on the back of each one. Following the Black Friday screening, Disney had become far less involved with the film, to which Pixar was finally given the freedom to make the film their way. The film went on to be a big success with critics and the box office. The Black Friday incident today still remains very much a mystery. And that, my little pretties, was Toy Story: The Black Friday Incident, a Toy Story creepypasta. It was written by Patrick Donohue. Although I do remember, that being Donohue. I don't know if Patrick Donohue wrote this one because I'm looking at the narration that Mr. Creepypasta did, and I'm looking at the one that Dave, the Useless, read. It said it was written by Frankenstein. I don't even know if it's the same person or not, but I'm feeling it's the same person, so I'm just gonna put credit as Patrick Donohue for now, unless specifically said otherwise. So, anyways, with that being the case, back to the review. I actually find this one to be a really well-made Toy Story creepypasta. It's a really good and well-made Toy Story creepypasta involving, what happened to Black Friday. So basically, from what I'm seeing, this is basically what Toy Story was originally going to be, but they ended up scrapping the idea due to it being too violent, too scary, and all that, which, it's like one of the most scariest, films that, not really films, but creepypasta that I've seen. Now, I know the Black Friday Incident is a really popular creepypasta. I have seen so many narrators narrating this one. I think I do remember Shadow Reader narrated this back on his old channel. So I thought, you know what, I go ahead and, narrate this story because, I had some really good memories when I heard of this story. Now, I know Lady White Rabbit actually narrated this one 6 years ago. I think I discovered her narration maybe about a week or so ago, and I took a look at it. It's a pretty good story. Basically, it's not, your typical lost episode creepypasta or anything. No, it's nothing like that. I'm really surprised of how this story went out. It's a really amazing and definitely really well made creepypasta. I really do like that it had a pretty good concept for what this one is. Now, apparently there is a note at the end of this, and I did get it from the GeoShia Lost Episode Wiki. I don't know why. I have no idea why this story was removed from the creepypasta wiki, because it was a really good story. I'm not gonna lie, it was a really, really good story for what this one is. I don't know why it was removed or anything. Maybe it was removed from the wiki for whatever reason. But I didn't really see the reason on why they had to remove it. I still find this one to be, quite enjoyable. I have seen a lot of narrations of this story, so I decided, you know what? I go ahead and check out this story. Now, I haven't watched Toy Story in a really long time, like the first one, because I love Toy Story. I like a lot of Disney films, and Toy Story is definitely one of them I remember reading and, watching the movies. I really like Toy Story, and that's why I decided to sit there and, take a look at this. So there is a reel to, the Black Friday incident of Toy Story, which I would show it in this video, but I don't want to get copyrighted, so yeah, I don't want to take that of a risk. I don't want to do that, so there is a video on it in the description of it, which I'm seeing and taking a look at it right now. There's actually an offers note that says, there is a short bonus feature of Toy Story Blu-ray about the incident, curiously not mentioning the more notable scenes. It can also be found on YouTube for anyone who is curious and see the whitewashed history. Disney produced the shortcut documentary to avoid discussing the incident. If you contact them about it, you'll be redirected to the Blu-ray's Amazon page if you ever get a response at all. Now, I definitely would have to say it's believable in a sense, because this actually did happen, because of the believability and all that, and it's still a pretty good and well-made story. This is one of the good classic creepypastas that didn't have, cliches or anything like that. I'm really glad there's no, blood or gore in this one. There's like, well, maybe there might be some, well, there was blood, but it was not, hyper realistic or anything like that. Not like most Lost episodes do. But it incorporate those in a very good manner with this story. And I've seen like a couple narrations of it. I know I did say that already, but I thought I'd make a mention of this now. I did watch a couple narrations of this story. It's a pretty good one from what I know personally. The first narration I came across it was Andal's channel before he stopped doing creepypastas, which is unfortunate, but still. I remember Shadow narrated this back on his old channel before it was terminated. And I do hope Shadow re-uploads the video of him reading that story. Or if he could, re-narrate it and maybe give him his final thoughts on the story or something. I'm not really sure if when Shadow will re-narrate this, but I really hope he does re-narrate this, because it's a pretty good story. Now, anyways, the grammar of this story is really good. I'm not gonna lie, same with the sentence structuring. Everything about how the story is played out, like laid out correctly, is really well made in detail. Yet again, I'm pretty sad that this got deleted from the regular Creepypasta Wiki. I don't know why it got deleted from the regular Creepypasta Wiki, because it's a really good story. So, I guess with that said, yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the review. This is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas. This is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be definitely a 10 out of 10. I can't really think of anything that I didn't like about this story. I don't really see anything negative that I did not like with the story. It's a very flawless 10 out of 10 story. A really good classic creepypasta. And if you want to take a look at this creepypasta, feel free to go do so. It's pretty good, and I recommend you guys, sit there and take a look at this narration. Well, if you guys already have, be sure to check out other narrations of other creepypasta narrators do, so that way you guys can see how they did it. Anyways, with that being the case, that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better. Feel free to leave me now with your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro, because I'm out.